PDF 44 here with more NBA news for you. This one's kind of interesting to me. Luke Walton has been fired from the Sacramento Kings as their head coach. Um, I mean, let's be honest. Luke has been uh, up and down with his coaching career. It started off on an extreme high with the Golden State Warriors. He came in and set a record for the most consecutive wins to start a career. So when he's given advanced talent, he's already proven he can do a lot with it. That's already been proven. However, when he was given an opportunity with the Lakers, the environment was good. He kept a happy team. Guys were happy on this team, and were not happy to leave. But the rotations were close to the worst I had ever seen, if not the worst I had ever seen. And we struggled in situations where it was strictly simply because of matchups. We would lose games for no other reason than just him putting the wrong players on the floor at a given moment. And I'd say what it was basically feel for the game it wasn't where I needed it to be. No, that's not what I want to say. His feel for the floor. That's what I'm saying to you. There's a difference, and the difference is feel for the game is how well a person can view the game from a schematic standpoint. Can they get a feel for what should be happening in the game schematically? Do they sense what should be done in certain circumstances? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally, is he paying attention to what's actually happening in front of him? There were situations out there where guys would get hurt. A guy would twist an ankle or something and would be like limping up the floor. And Luke Walton would be looking down court the other way and won't call the timeout to get the player off the floor. Stuff like that is what I'm referring to. Like literally his feel for the floor. It's like, bro, this guy is too small to guard this guy. He's getting beat up down there. Can you recognize that matchup is bad and match us up so that it works? He would forego opportunities to match up properly so that he could run his system. And he was sort of like Mike D'Antoni in that regard. He would not care too much about anything other than running his system. It was like, hey, we don't have the personnel for what you're running. I don't care. I'm putting my guys out there. We don't have the, it's like, that guy's cold today. Yeah, but we're going to keep him out there because this is what we have. It's like, no, that doesn't work. So certain things that he did just made it very clear to me that he wasn't the guy for our job. Even though the kids developed well under him, everybody seemed to they played well under him, but the games we would fail within the games because of him and his rotations and his lack of feel for the floor. So to me, it was just like, okay, you're going to hire him in Sacramento, but your situation is a lot worse because you don't have the core that we have. You got some underdevelopment issues in terms of not being able to develop players properly at that time. And, while he may help with that, you're not going to be winning games because of this guy's weaknesses. He's gonna get in the way unless he grows in that area, and he's going to have to play behind somebody some more, or coach behind somebody some more, in my opinion, to learn how to better manage roster situations, lineups, how best to improvise and get away from his system and still be effective, those type of things. And he hadn't developed those things apparently in Sacramento. And they were seeing more of the same. The team had lost, if I'm not mistaken, 7 out of the last 8 games. Toronto blew them out. It just got to a point where everybody was where Laker fans were near the end of his time. We were all thinking the same thing together in unison, that it was time for Luke Walton to move on. I don't think it was too many people. And mind you, we love Luke here. Luke, this is a Luke town. Like, we scream Luke every time we see him, no matter what's going on. But it's an understanding that he was not the greatest coach for us, and we needed to kind of get on and move on. So Sacramento's come to the same conclusion and have done that. I'm not against it. I don't know who they're going to bring in, but they do have some things that they have to be excited about in terms of their roster. My question for Sacramento has always been, since the beginning of this Marvin Bagley story, that has had it so that his representation has come out and said, yo, we haven't been played, and we feel like we're being held out for a trade that they're not actually going to pull the trigger on, or something along those lines of what his representation had released. And really, I'm just wondering what's going on with that. did Luke Walton have something to do with why this kid wasn't playing? When they asked Luke Walton about that, his thing was, when he's available to play, we'll play him. So I just feel like there's a lot of confusion going on within that organization, just as based on what I'm seeing in that situation. And I don't know that they're necessarily going to make the right decision in hiring a new coach any way. But we'll see. We'll see. It's Sacramento, so you gotta be pessimistic to a degree, just based on the history. But they do have a lot of good players that you like on that team. Davion Mitchell, obviously Fox, De'Aaron Fox. They have Rashad Holmes, who's a very, very serviceable center. Can start for you and pretty much do a double-double for you at night. They got a lot of guys, man. Harrison Barnes playing fantastic. He's in his prime. You just wonder what's going on with that team and why they're not better than they are. Ty Halliburton's obviously one of my favorite young guards. So you just want to see this team get it together. They have a pretty bad history, but we saw them in their golden years against the Lakers. We know what they look like when they're at their best. They have one of the best franchise fan bases in the NBA, to be completely honest with you. That cowbell thing was unmatched. So as a Laker fan, I respect them as a good fan base, and they deserve a good product on the floor. So hopefully the next coach they can get out there can put them in a position to get the most out of their roster. Their three-headed monster guard lineup, that they have in Davion Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton, of course, De'Aaron Fox. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, man. We will see how that goes. I'd imagine they have one of their assistant coaches move into the interim for the time being. That's how that usually goes. So, look to find out who that is. I didn't see a name, but that's where we're at, man. Luke Walton out as coach of the Sacramento Kings. Will he get another opportunity? He needs to go be an assistant coach or go do college or something, honestly. He really does. He needs to get those aspects that we talked about as weaknesses, and he needs to turn those into strengths. And his poor lineups, his system that doesn't halfway work, he has to really take serious constructive criticism from those who have been basically bashing him as it pertains to where he goes wrong. Because these are real things that we see out there when we watch these games. The footage is constant. You can go back and watch any of that Laker footage with Brandon Ingram and those guys, that era. So many opportunities for us to win basketball games where he didn't go with the hot hand, where he would just put guys on the floor that weren't matched up, as we've discussed. Going with cold hands, letting guys continue to shoot when they're cold. Just a lot of stuff that didn't make any sense. Tripling down on point guards that are under 6'5". Just stuff that really promotes losing. And we lost because of it, And it wasn't like what Vogel's going through right now, to where we didn't have the personnel to match up because of injuries and stuff. No, we had our whole team out there. A lot of times we weren't missing nobody. He was just putting the wrong guys on the floor. Wacky stuff, too. Really, really bizarre. So, yeah, man, I know Sacramento was tired of that. Laker fans was tired of that, too. But I do hope Luke lands on his feet, because he is Laker fam, He probably ain't going to feel like it if he watches this video, but, we won championships with Luke. We know Luke. He'll probably end up with our organization, probably as an assistant coach or something. But at the end of the day, as far as him getting another opportunity, not right now. I don't see that. I don't think anybody would be better right now for having him as coach. He's gonna have to go get behind somebody legendary or get in that college ranks, like I said, and work his way up. Because these coaching ranks here, the 2 tenures he's had, we just have too many situations where guys just lost games that they could have won, for reasons already discussed. So that's what we got, man. BDF 44 here. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.